Right. And very predictably, in fact. However, this particular example is not really that useful to us in a general situation. In general, how do you control what people talk about? It's very simple. You just ask questions. Right. Questions are like the guiding tool that people use to control a conversation. If I ask you a question, like, for example, where do you live? Then the topic of the conversation is now your address or wherever you live. Right. And whatever we're going to talk about next is just going to be about that basic topic. If I ask you, what do you study in university? The topic is now university and studies. So it's as simple as literally just asking a question to start off a topic. Right. Now, one thing that you always want to remember is that when you have a conversation, there's only two situations. Either you're the leader of the conversation or you're the listener and the responder. Right. Now, something which I feel like is, again, a bit of a cultural problem for Chinese people is that Chinese people tend to prefer to be the listener or the responder instead of the leader. Right. But if you're in a situation where you think your English is not so good, it's actually, trust me when I say it's much, much easier to be the leader of the conversation compared to the listener. Right. The reason is this: if you're the one asking questions, right, not only do you control the topic, but you also do less talking. The person asking questions talks about 20% of the time. The person answering questions talks about 80% of the time, right? And not only that, but if you're the person answering, there's always a chance that they might ask you a question you don't know how to answer. Whereas if you're the person asking questions, that's not going to happen. Does that make sense? Right? So if you're a bit of a beginner when it comes to speech, it's always better to immediately take control and try to control the flow of the conversation. And it's as simple as, after you finish your initial greeting, immediately have a follow-up question. Think about, what do you actually want to talk about? What topic would you prefer? Right? And then immediately ask a question.